brother's fiancée was cheating, and everyone turned on me when I spoke up. I come from a pretty close-knit family. I have an older brother, Mark, who has always been my best friend. We grew up thick as thieves, playing video games, covering for each other when we snuck out, and being each other's confidants through breakups, job changes, and family drama. So, when Mark told me 3 years ago that he had met the one, I was genuinely thrilled. Her name was Rachel, and from the start, everyone seemed to love her. She was bubbly, charismatic, and knew how to work a room. My parents practically adopted her overnight, and my younger cousins adored her. I like Rachel too. At first, she seemed sweet, asked me questions about my life, and even invited me on a few girls' nights out. But over time, I noticed cracks in facade. The first red flag came about a year into their relationship. Rachel and I went out for drinks one Friday. While we were waiting for our Uber, she drunkenly leaned over and said, "Don't tell Mark, but sometimes I flirt just to see if I still got it." I laughed it off, thinking it was just tipsy talk. But then I started noticing little things. She'd go out with friends 3 or 4 nights a week, sometimes not coming back until the morning. She constantly posted selfies at bars or clubs, but never tagged a friend she was supposedly with. Once, I saw her phone light up with a message preview that said, "Last night was amazing. Can't wait to see you again." She snatched it up before I could see the name. When I casually asked about it later, she laughed and said it was just a work joke. Something about an inside joke with a colleague. It didn't sit right with me, but I told myself, not my relationship, not my business. Last year, Mark proposed. He did it during a family trip to the mountains, with all of us there to witness it. Rachel squealed, cried, and said yes before he even finished asking. My parents were over the moon. That night, as everyone toasted champagne, Rachel cornered me in the kitchen. With a sly smile, she whispered, "Guess you're stuck with me now." Something in her tone gave me chills. A few months later, I went out with some co-workers for a casual Friday night. We ended up at a popular downtown bar, and that's where I saw her. Rachel. She wasn't just hanging out. She was sitting in a booth, locked in what I can only describe as a very intimate embrace with a man who was definitely not my brother. They were kissing, whispering, and holding hands like teenagers in love. I froze. My stomach dropped. My first instinct was to look away, to pretend I hadn't seen it. But then she noticed me. Her eyes widened for half a second before she plastered on a fake smile. She slid out of the booth, walked straight up to me, and said in a low, sharp voice, "If you care about your brother's happiness, you'll keep your mouth shut." I couldn't believe it. No denial. No excuse. Just a threat. That weekend, I barely slept. I kept replaying the scene in my head. My brother had been talking nonstop about wedding plans, about how Rachel was his dream girl. How could I destroy that illusion for him? At the same time, how could I not? I confided in Sarah, my best friend since college. She said, "If you don't tell him, you'll regret it forever. He deserves the truth." She was right. The next day, I asked Mark to meet me for coffee. I was shaking as I told him what I'd seen. At first, he laughed. "You must have been mistaken. Rachel would never." But when I described the bar, the man, the kiss, his smile faded. He stared at me, jaw clenched, and finally said, "I'll talk to her." That night, he called me. His voice was flat. She admitted it, said it was a one-time mistake. We're working through it, and I don't appreciate you getting involved. I was stunned. I thought he'd thank me. Instead, it felt like he was blaming me. Word spread fast. Somehow, Rachel twisted the narrative into me, trying to sabotage their relationship because I was jealous of her. She told my parents I had misunderstood and was exaggerating. To my shock, my parents sided with her. Maybe she made a mistake, but Mark loves her. Don't ruin this for him. Even my cousin, who used to adore me, started giving me the cold shoulder at family dinners. I became the villain in my own family for daring to tell the truth. Despite everything, the wedding planning went full steam ahead. I was still invited, though Rachel made it clear I was on thin ice. She'd smile sweetly in front of others, then hiss in my ear, "One wrong move and you're out." I considered skipping, but I couldn't imagine not being there for Mark. Even if he was angry at me, he was still my brother. 2 months before the wedding, I got a message from an unknown number. It was a man named Jason. He said he had been seeing Rachel for over a year and only recently discovered she was engaged. He sent me screenshots of their messages. Dozens of them, photos of them together, receipts for hotel stays. My hands shook as I scrolled through them. This wasn't a one-time mistake. This was a full-blown affair. Armed with the evidence, I drove to Mark's apartment. He looked exhausted when he opened the door. I handed him my phone. For 20 minutes, he sat there in silence, scrolling through the proof. His face went pale. Finally, he whispered, "I can't believe it." I stayed with him that night as he confronted Rachel over the phone. She screamed, she cried, she begged. But this time, Mark didn't cave. He told her it was over. The breakup was messy. Rachel tried to turn the family against me again, claiming the screenshots were fake. But Mark backed me up. Slowly, the truth came out. My parents apologized. My cousins thawed. But the damage lingered. For months, family gatherings were tense. Some relatives still whispered that I had ruined things. Mark, though, eventually thanked me. He said, "I didn't want to believe it, but you saved me from the biggest mistake of my life." It's been almost a year since the breakup. Mark is in therapy, focusing on himself. He started dating again, cautiously. And our bond is stronger than ever. As for me, I've learned that telling the truth doesn't always make you the hero. Sometimes it makes you the villain, at least for a while. But I'd rather be the villain with integrity than someone who stays silent while the people I love are hurt. If you're ever in a similar position, if you see someone you love being deceived, know this: it won't be easy. You might lose people. You might be hated for it. But in the end, the truth matters. Because lies can only last so long. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications to not miss another story.